Governor of Edo State, waiting right here in the studio as our guest. Your Excellency, you've seen the outcome of what is happening out there. You've seen all of what has been happening in the state there now. What's your thought? Though you must remember that we're not allowed to discuss party politics or any candidate. All we can talk about is what we can see in terms of the election, Your Excellency.
The process.
I mean, the fact is, Kayode, I'm first and foremost a Nigerian.
Yes.
And the supra party that we all belong to is the Nigerian nation. So I'm clear. I think listening to the report is encouraging that at this hour of the day, materials have arrived and officials are there. There are two observations that I listened to. One was that in some areas, they apply what appeared to be a more sensible approach by using alphabetical order and therefore being able to carry out accreditation in 2, 3, 4, 5 areas so that you can shorten the queue and thereby quicken the process. Because at the heart of fairness is that there should be no obstacle. People should not be subjected to tedious process that is designed and calculated to frustrate anyone. So I think so far it's so good. Now, the only thing I'm not able to say is that I also know that sometimes in the urban areas where the observers are, everything may appear to be good. Now, we need to have information about what is going on in remote villages. Remote villages is sometimes where the devil resides. Where most people in double-breasted suit may not want to go there. So we do need to have a report that confirms first if materials have arrived in those remote villages. We had statement that they turn out statewide. That is good. Our electorate have always been very prepared. They are mobilized. They want democracy. They know the benefit of being ordinary man and deciding the fate of big people. Nigerians are excited. They want to be part of it. So it would be nice to have comment on what is going on in those remote villages so that we have a total picture. But so far, if I were to compare this to what happened in Edo in 2012, this is a remarkable improvement. Because people here in Benin, by 11 a.m. in Benin City, INEC couldn't get materials to polling booths in Benin. Now that they have that in Ekiti, it's a marked improvement. And I think INEC seems to have started quite well, and I hope they sustain it.
And they seem to have gotten them early, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, I've always told people that the presence of police or the military is not necessarily counterproductive. It all depends on their approach. And as you have seen, if the body language of the police is that we are here to secure you, people will feel safer to come out. Indeed. If the body language of the army is that, look, we are here, if anybody tries to molest you, we will protect you, the people will come out. And as you can see, if what we are seeing here is what is happening in the villages, the presence of the security agencies is giving greater confidence to the electorate. Yes. It is not frightening. But after all, these are not an invasion force. They are Nigeria Army, they are Nigeria Police. Once they conduct themselves like that, their presence would then be positive. Yes. And I hope that they sustain this.
That's good. Now, having said that, Your Excellency, one of the things that Alera and I had a chat about at the beginning of the program was the incident of those who were heading towards Ekiti a couple of days ago. And we understand that your own aircraft, the chopper that you hired to take you to Ekiti, was not allowed to fly. Was that true? Because in the newspapers, I understand somebody has published that it's all porkies is not true.
No, I mean, there are things you don't deny, even if you are not a believer in God. There are things that are so obvious that you don't say that daytime is night. It was a scheduled rally, and Kayode is my friend, besides being a governor. Additionally, Kayode is one of those Nigerians who had fought for democracy and dared the gun in the days of the military. Comrade. When I was in the NLC. So I was going there. Well. I just want to explain why I felt obliged to be part of that rally. And I got to the airport, and I was told, sorry, we have instructions from above that I cannot fly. And I tried to make a query here and there, and I was told I can't even fly to Akure and go by road to Ekiti. For me, it was very unfortunate, because you have overzealous persons. it may not be coming from what everybody regards as above. Because the man in charge of this Nigeria project today, who is in the driver's seat, is the president. I do not think that President Jonathan will order anybody to prevent people from going to campaign. You know, but you have people who think they love the ruling party more than the chief of the party. And for me, it was quite embarrassing. And I didn't see what value it had. If anything, it raises, you know, the doubt about the preparedness of the authority to allow a level playing field. The mouth does not kill. And rules are clear. Until midnight of last night, people were entitled, or the day before yesterday night, people by law were entitled to continue to persuade. And other parties have gone there, and I had the right to go to any part of Nigeria. Yeah. And if you can stop a governor, you treat me like a miscreant. I mean, it's not about me, it's also about the office. You know, we reduced the country to something close to a banana republic. I was thoroughly embarrassed, and it was an unnecessary thing.
But did the governor ask those people who said that the plane cannot take off, did you ask them at any point in time, when they say authority from above, what do they mean? Who exactly gave this instruction? And the reason I'm asking this question is because I remember some years ago when President Obasanjo was in London, he was saying that people say all kind of things and they say the presidency said. And I had a chance of asking him, so wasn't it your office or somebody? He said, who is presidency?
I mean, this is happening all the time. First is that when we talk about weak institutions, this is what people are talking about. When we talk about the fact that what nations need is to establish strong institutions rather than strong personalities. Now, where institutions are strong, like the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, even the minister can't order those responsible for managing airport, you know, to be co-opted into their political game. And they are supposed to do their job professionally. Look at the weather, security issues, and make professional judgment. But because we have weak institutions where a minister can hire and fire, a minister of state or even a director who wants to show that he loves the ruling party more than everyone else, who give those orders. Because there is no enlightened, civilized mind who will think that by preventing that rally from taking place, or rather by preventing some of us from attending the rally, will make a difference to the outcome of today's election. So it was a primitive, ill-conceived approach. I mean, I'm here. There are many things that some people in Edo State do in government, or I should observe in channels. A guy who is not even an employee of Edo State government, not an employee of even a local government, but who claim to be a contractor, mount the highway, purporting to use state authority to collect illegal taxes. And everybody say, how could Governor Oshiomhole be a party to this? Of course, I'm not just not a party to it. I'm not even aware that those things are going on. And there are things that happen here in the heart of Benin, and I like to watch television just to know what the other side is saying. And sometimes I learn only through television what is being purportedly done in my name. So there are a lot of people around the corridors of power who, you know, misuse state instruments. And because institutions are weak, those who head those institutions do oftentimes don't have the courage to verify from their appropriate source whether the authority, what they are being asked to do is lawful or unlawful. Here in Edo State, I've seen very senior party members of the other party giving orders to the police as if the police was a department of their political party. And if you have a commissioner that is weak-hearted, he just feels that if I don't obey this politician, he will make connections to Abuja and I'll lose my job. So I think what the point that it takes a long-term solution is that we must emphasize building institutions. We must re-examine the law book and grant autonomy to institutions of state, particularly those responsible for security. In England, the Prime Minister can't sack what do they call him now in Britain? It's not, they don't call the Holy Inspector General. The chief, the head of the police. Exactly. Yeah. So he can even subject the Prime Minister to interrogation. The same in America. Now, the unfortunate is that we like to copy some aspect of these civilized societies. But when it has to do with power, we recoil. I think for me it was very unfortunate. I was embarrassed. People at the airport were asking me, any problem? I didn't want to generate a distraction. I just said, well, if they think that my going there would be unhelpful, I can always stay here. But I called my friend Kayode and I said, well, you know, as they say, uneasy lies the head that wears no true crown. Otherwise, I can't be a governor, and I'm stopped. When I was a Labour leader, I was being harassed. Now I'm a governor, I'm still being harassed. I don't know when I'll be free.
Okay, Excellency.
Well, but you mentioned something that I wanted to quickly home in on. Uromi local government. They took our money. Channels Television had to pay 16,000 naira to some people that claim to be working for Uromi local government. And up till today, they have not returned it. We believe that money was extorted, and we believe they should return our money. We don't know who the chairman is. We're speaking with the governor. How do we get our money back? Because they harassed our members of staff who were traveling through Edo State.
Well, you mentioned this to me over the phone, but even before then, your correspondent in Benin will confirm that I had a meeting with all the 80 local government chairmen. I invited the Commissioner of Police. I invited the Director of State Security Services. And I said I wanted them to be in attendance to give a clear-cut orders that local government, or indeed any functionaries of government, whether local or state, should not turn the highway to extortion center. And I told the Commissioner, put your men on the road. Should we find anybody purporting to act on behalf of anyone, harassing road users, asking people to pay money by reasons of the fact that they have a radio in their car, or that they have some inscriptions on their vehicle, which they call mobile advertising, and ask you to pay, they should have those